Glen Forde, living in Ballinadee along the Bandon River. The size of the herd, I suppose we're milking about 140 cows on a grazing platform of 46 hectares. We're renting ground and bringing feed into cows. We're farming about 184, 85 hectares in total. Milk situation of about 30% autumn, 70% spring. Annual milk production is just over 6,000 litres a cow, doing 4.18 fat percent and 3.52 protein percent. Myself and my father are full-time, and we get students in the autumn for 3 months, and we get a student in the spring for 3 months just for calving season. The rest is managed between ourselves and contractors. We put in the 24 units in 2012 in June with swing over arms, cluster removers. We put in the full Afimilk system with conductivity, heat detection. We have the 3-way drafting system and the milk recording. We had the first cows in here at 7 o'clock. Basically, at 140 cows, we're only milking for about 3/4 of an hour. We don't handle cows unless they're dirty. Any drafting to be done is done within the pit or on the computer beforehand. So I don't have to leave the pit, be it cows for AI, cows for staying inside for feeding, or cows going straight out to pasture. It can all be done from down here. Same with cows held for mastitis. We're recording everything here and using the dump line here. The Afimilk system was installed in June 2012. That was the end of June we put the first cows through it. On the management side of things, for heat detection, cows in calf, not in calf, cull cows, I can record them all on the computer. So for management on drafting and all that, there's no work at all. You're not interfering with cow movement, they're just falling into place. I've seen an increase in production on my high yielders to the extent of what I'm allowing them. I suppose in Ireland we're in a quota situation which is restricting performance of our cows, largely to do that I want to expand my herd, so I'm carrying extra cows, so they're not being milked to the full capacity. I'm fully confident the feed to yield is going to pull up my yields without any extra feed costs, because it's going to the cows that need it rather than putting fat on or condition on the cows that don't. Feed to yield, there's definitely a cent a litre saving on feed costs by feeding the right cow rather than the whole herd. We have seen an increase in heat since we've installed the Afimilk management system. We are autumn spring calving herd. In the autumn we were calving from September to December, 4 months. We've now knocked that down to 1.5 months. We start in October, we finish in the middle of November, and calving the same number of cows by 100% on heat detection. We use tail paint twice a week, and we still manage to miss heats, just on mainly false heats, and we're not having that now. In the spring was when people were saying that there'd be a bigger deviation on heats because they're going out further and more movement, but we found it work all but 100%. The feed costs in relation to the feed to yield on the Afimilk system, there's definitely a cent saving, I feel, on the high production cows by giving it to them as opposed to the low production. Same with my heifers, I'm giving them a kg more above any of the rest of the herd to help on fertility side, never mind on production, which in turn is going to be a knock-on effect. Feed to yield as opposed to a basic feeding system, I think 2-3 year payoff guaranteed. When using the Afimilk management system, all the information there is in front of you on the computer, be it from cystic cows to cows not showing heats, yields, solids, everything. At a click of a button, I can pull them out. I can mind them on a separate herd, or I can bring them as a whole herd in the same system and cull accordingly. The deviation report on the Afimilk management system is actually one of the first buttons I would click on every milking. The first one I look for is the conductivity. The conductivity, if the milk yield all of a sudden, if I held cow herd tight on grass one day and yields dropped, you'd see a lot of deviations, but it is only the top few when they'll highlight in red. On conductivity, and 90% of the time it's been right. I use the Afimilk system for the individual cow, but the advantage with it is showing a whole herd performance. So if there's back to deviations, if there's a deviation across the whole herd, you know it's a management issue. Whereas if it's an individual cow, you have it straight away that there is a problem. Time spent on the Afimilk software system, 2-3 minutes per milking, after milking. Management changes towards health on the farm. I even find myself on a Sunday morning, if I see, if a lame cow comes in, just a press of a button and she's drafted standing in the pen. On something that simple for me, on the old system, if you were under pressure, you had to leave the pit, swing a gate, hold her. It didn't get done till there was extra people around on a Monday. Lameness, every day lost is big time, vital. Mastitis, saving 12-24 hours a day on conductivity is a huge saving on antibiotics for treatment and a quicker treatment. So the milk gets back into the bulk tank way quicker, you're saving 2-3 days. The changes around fertility using the Afimilk system, we don't use any tail painting, we don't use any teaser bull, we don't do any visual unless we have a question mark on the computer system, which in general, it's correct. It's picking it up 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year. So even if I have a cow scanned in calf and she loses a calf, it's telling me that she's lost that calf, even at 2 months, 3 months. I would say the heat detection is number one and feed to yield would be the second. The heat detection, the fact that it's working 24 hours a day, all day. Yes, I would definitely recommend Afimilk to other dairy farmers. I would not be able to manage the farm without the Afimilk management system. Just the control that I have on day-to-day running on one-man system, there's no way.